Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm chilling in the office, taking care of business. It's cold in the shop. It's like 48 degrees, 50 degrees outside. It's probably 15 degrees colder inside the shop than the outside temperature. It's freezing inside there. So I'm in the office, pretending to do some work until it warms up a little bit out there. Let's talk about having a conversation with God. Not everybody has been able to do that. I think it's pretty rare. I think some people may think that they've had a communication with a higher power, but they've just, honestly, they're just talking to themselves, or they're misreading feelings, misreading signs and signals. Just because you see what looks like a picture of Jesus or the Virgin Mary in a piece of toast, in the syrup pattern as you pour it out over your pancakes. I haven't had pancakes in a while. That's something maybe I'll put on my cheat meal list for this week. Pancakes sound good. But just because you see that picture of the Virgin Mary in your pancake syrup, that doesn't mean it's a message from God. You had some inspiration, some feeling, and you're saying, well, God gave me the inspiration to do this. And if you ask him, well, why? Did he talk to you? And you say, no, it was just this feeling, and I knew God wanted me to do it. You hear people saying that stuff. I don't know if you've ever heard anybody say that. I've heard people say that, almost that exact sentence, numerous times in various ways. We'll talk about various topics. And they think they've been directed by God. No, that's just you. God, when God talks to you, it's a conversation. It may be a conversation like you're having like a crazy person, where you're actually talking out loud in a voice, you hear a voice out loud. That happens. I mean, that's rare. But it also may be a conversation in your head, but it's not a conversation with yourself. There's a difference. You know the difference. You know when you're talking to yourself, and you can counsel yourself. Anybody who talks to themselves in their head, a lot of people talk to themselves out loud. But if you have conversations with yourself enough, you can get to a point where you can counsel yourself, you can ask yourself advice and get pretty good darn advice. But it's just you talking to you. And you know when that's you. But when you have a conversation with someone in your head and it's not you, it's freaky. It's weird. Some of you are like, what the hell is he talking about? It's some weird shit, I know. Not everybody's had these types of experiences. Very few people, I would assume, where you actually have a conversation with God. It's a very private, personal type of experience. It may happen once in your life, maybe twice, maybe a couple times if you're lucky, if you get in tune with yourself and you learn to quiet the mind. You can develop this type of relationship and have it be ongoing. Have conversations with God regularly. It's not something I would suggest reporting to others about, because it's really just going to make you sound crazy. Oh yeah, I was talking with God last night. Anybody who hears you say shit like that, they're going to be like, what? Because they're not talking to God. And when somebody else in the room says that they are, it's like, what, do you think you're special? People get all upset and mad at you. Think you're a liar, and they're going to, you know, whatever. But if you've ever had that experience, it's probably one of the most profound experiences that you've ever had. You can remember that conversation. I've had this happen to me a couple times. Not that I'm special, it's just that I've been working towards this relationship for quite a long time. And every once in a while I have to remind myself not to forget what God told me. Don't forget what God told you. Remember what he told you. What did he tell you? Write it down and put it on a notepad so you can see it as a reminder. Keep you on track. You don't want to forget that shit. I'll tell you about two experiences where I had a conversation with God. One was rather freaky and paranormal. I've told this story before, so I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'll just cut right to the chase. And it was right after my father had been murdered. I just got the word from my uncle that my dad had been shot by an enemy in a little gang war. He warned me of the FBI investigation and the whole thing. And I was devastated. Oh my God. That was like a Mack truck hitting me. My father was murdered? What? I mean, my whole world came down. And I had an emotional breakdown. And I was more lost than I've ever been in my life. And as I was on the floor crying, I hatched a plan to go and murder the man that my father was shot by, this guy, Little Mike. Little Mike was in jail. They caught him. I mean, I have to go to jail too, but that's fine. I have nothing else going on. I'll go get locked up where he is, and I'll get at him. I'll get him in line somewhere. I'll get him on a yard. I'll get him. And I'm sitting there hashing this plot. Instantly, within seconds of hanging up that phone, I'm already sitting there plotting the murder, like in Princess Bride, where the guy is like, "You killed my father." He's looking for the six-fingered man. Whew. Some of you don't even get it, man. That movie is hard for me to watch because of that shit. And that scene where he's like, "Offer me money, offer me everything I want." Man, they make me cry even thinking about it. I wanted revenge so bad. It's all I wanted. And in that moment, God came to me and I heard a voice. A voice like you hear my voice right now. It wasn't a voice in my head. This was a voice in the room. And it said, "Everything will be okay." I stopped all my fucking emotional little bullshit, manned up, realized maybe there's somebody in the room with me. And I was pissed. And I was like, if my brother is peeping on me, or one of his stupid little friends, or somebody, I don't know, maybe I left the fucking front door unlocked. Me and my brother were renting this house. Maybe I left the front door unlocked and one of our homeboys came by and caught me in my moment of weakness. Oh, this isn't gonna be a fun time. I'm pissed. I searched the house. If somebody's in this fucking house, I mean, I'm not in a good place right now, so. But there was nobody in the house. And I quickly realized that I actually heard that shit. And that changed my course of direction with my revenge plot instantly. I'll never forget that message, "Everything will be okay." I'll never forget as long as I live. And I have to remind myself every once in a while when I forget, when anxiety gets a hold of me, depression, going into the unknown, things seem like they're not looking good. I remind myself what God told me, that everything will be okay. Another time I can tell you really quickly, I won't ramble on about it, but some people ask me, why did I start writing books? I've written 4 books. I know I'm trying to get them published. People ask me, I want to read them. I'm trying. It's expensive. I'm not rich. I'm trying to get this shit done. This year, I've made good money this year, so I'm thinking in 2024, I'm going to try to get them all published all at once. I'm going to spend several thousand and just try to get it done. That's the hope. That's my goal. And then I'll have 4 books to sell you, and every video I'm going to be hustling my books, and you guys are going to be sick of it. You're going to wish I didn't even have these damn books. But people ask me, why did I start writing? And it was God. God told me to. It was a direct order. I went and walked on the beach one day. I like to walk on the beach, go for walks. I think well when I walk. And when I was on the beach, I got an order. It wasn't just a conversation. It was a thought that came out of nowhere, and it was in my head, but it was in a voice that didn't sound like me, at least, and it was an order. And the order said, it's time to write your story. You have a story to tell. You need to start writing. I had never thought about this before. That had never come into my head before, ever. Never once. A writer. A motorcycle shop owner. I went home right then and started writing. That was 5 years ago. I've written 4 books. What did God tell you? Did you forget? Maybe it's time to get back on course. Food for thought.